The firestorm over President Trump's racist rhetoric spread to Capitol Hill today, where a vote in the House of Representatives is uniting Democrats and testing Republicans' willingness to criticize the commander-in-chief. Lisa Desjardins begins with how the day's events unfolded.
2 days after the president's initial tweets, today, Senate Majority Leader Republican Mitch McConnell responded.
The president's not a racist.
Yet the Republican leader did not exonerate the president. He chose to blame him and Democrats both.
I think there's been a consensus that political rhetoric has really gotten way overheated. From the president to the speaker to freshman members of the House, all of us have a responsibility to elevate the public discourse. Our words do matter. We all know politics is a contact sport.
From fellow Republican and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, a different tact, changing the subject to broader themes.
I believe this is about ideology. This is about socialism versus freedom. And I think this party has been very clear. We are the party of Lincoln. This party believes in the content of the individual.
Indeed, there was ideological divide, as Democrats like Pramila Jayapal were happy to point out as well.
Dissent is patriotic. The thing that has always made America great is that people are willing to make it better.
All of this after President Trump's tweets on Sunday, claiming that 4 Democratic congresswomen of color are from other countries, that they're too critical of the U.S. and should consider going back to where they came from. All of them are American citizens. 3 were born in the United States. The president echoed some of his words again today at the White House.
They should love our country. They shouldn't hate our country.
Meanwhile, his senior advisor, Kellyanne Conway, touched off a different debate as she tried to turn the table on a reporter asking about the president's words.
What's your ethnicity?
Why is that relevant?
No, because I'm asking you a question. My ancestors are from Ireland and Italy.
The reporter refused to answer. A few miles away on Capitol Hill, one of the lawmakers in the center of the storm, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, said today the GOP needs to condemn the president's words themselves.
They have targeted 4 congresswomen of color who are American citizens with a classic line of white supremacy. And they are trying to pivot and they are trying to excuse it.
Later, in an unusual moment,
all members will suspend.
The House of Representatives came to a full stop in the middle of a debate on the president's words and whether the House should condemn them. The question surrounded these remarks, very rare about a president's actions, from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
These comments from the White House are disgraceful and disgusting, and these comments are racist.
House Republicans immediately pointed to rules against maligning the president and invoked a rare form of objection to those words.
I make a point of order. The gentlewoman's words are unparliamentary and are ready to be taken down.
The action's not finished for the day. House Democrats expect to pass a resolution condemning the president's tweets as racist. Tonight, that may be a test for some Republicans. Mr. Trump has urged them to vote no.
And Lisa joins me now. So, Lisa, you have been talking today to a number of Republicans. How are they reacting?
Well, there's a difference between private and public life for the Republicans today. Publicly, some of them will vote with Democrats tonight, but probably not many. Most of them will stick with the president on this resolution to condemn him. But privately, Judy, there is a divide among Republicans. Some are very concerned that these remarks may, in fact, push away the very voters they think they need, suburban white Americans who are uncomfortable with this kind of language. But there are other Republicans who say, no, we think the president is defending something, especially in rural areas, that we think is right. We think that there is too much talk of racism, and we're glad he's pushing back. There's a real divide opening up for Republicans.
And you were telling me, and we saw just a little bit of this on the floor of the House, as they're debating this resolution, it's gotten really complicated.
I can't stress what a wild, strange day this has been, but that's right. The House voted, or Nancy Pelosi made these remarks, Republicans objected, and the parliamentarian agreed with Republicans that she was out of line. In order for those remarks to stay on the books, the whole House had to vote her. Democrats had to support her. That happened. Since then, Judy, we've seen an eruption of tempers and emotion on the House floor, even as we speak. Democrats reading out everything they think the president has ever said that is offensive. Republicans objecting. It has become a very emotional and raucous place, the House floor.
And Lisa, you were also telling me, we were talking just a few minutes ago, that kind of underlying all this, you're seeing really a complicated reaction to what's happening.
This is what I want to get to, because at the Capitol it's frustrating. We're seeing this bouncing ball. We're seeing this atmosphere of accusations right now. But it's so important to get to the greater meaning, because as neither side seems politically motivated to try and resolve this conversation about race, I'm also concerned, Judy, that maybe they're not equipped. And that's because these two sides, as you talked in the behind closed doors, they define racism differently. Republicans are using kind of an earlier definition of race in which the intention of the person is what's critical. Democrats are talking more and more about what the effect of racism is. Are people affected by it? Are their lives changed? And of course, Democrats have more people of color. It's not an accident that the definition is evolving, because people of color have more power. One really quick example, I talked to John Thune, a Republican. I asked him, is there anything you would feel comfortable calling racism? He had to pause, and he couldn't say that there was. Democrats are not comfortable in how to bring white Americans into the conversation about race. Republicans are not comfortable talking about racism at all, and they are far apart on a very important conversation.
You're bringing something that has cultural dimensions and so much else. It's so much more than that, and larger than politics.
That's right.
Lisa Desjardins, we thank you.
You're welcome.